Finally, we're at the end of what has felt like the longest Oscar season of all time. Honestly, I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sure everyone else is at this point, with all of the discourse that's happened with most of the films, the unpredictable nature of every single award. Today, however, I'm completing my trilogy. I've reacted to the nominees, I've ranked all of the nominees, and now finally I'm going to predict the nominees for each category. I'm going to go through each category, give my prediction for what I think will win and what personally I would pick to win. Starting off with live action short. This is kind of a very underwhelming category for me this year. I think some of them are great, some of them are okay, most of them are pretty by the bones, bare minimum sort of deal. My personal pick for this year would be I'm Not a Robot. I think it's interesting and it stands out within the category of being fairly unique, but personally I think this one is going to go to The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. For animated short this year is actually quite a good category, which has a lot of films that I really enjoyed. My personal pick would be Wander to Wonder, which I think is the most unique whilst also portraying a pretty fascinating story. However, I think this year it will be going to Beautiful Men, which is probably my least favourite of the category this year. But hey, what are you going to do? For documentary short, this feels like a no-brainer. Incident is my pick this year. I think Incident is absolutely fascinating and a very important documentary that unfortunately, as each year goes by, feels more and more important. However, I think that the Oscars are going to go with I Am Ready Warden, which was my least favourite nominee of the entire year. For Best Original Song, I would be going with Like a Bird from Sing Sing, but I will say that I think El Mal is actually an okay song from Emilia Perez.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Probably is going to be the one that takes the award this year, to no surprise. Unfortunately, Diane Warren will be walking home empty-handed again this year. For Best Original Score, do I really have to give any context? My pick is The Brutalist, and my prediction is also The Brutalist. It should have been Challengers, but it ain't even here. I'm going to put visual effects and sound together, because my predictions and picks for both of them are the exact same. My personal pick would be Dune. That film has some of the most fantastic sound I'd heard all of last year, and some of the best visuals too, which is kind of why I think the Oscars is going to go with that for both categories. For makeup and hairstyling, this is kind of a one-man race. I think some of the makeup is fantastic in A Different Man and Nosferatu, but my pick and prediction is The Substance. It literally is no competition this year. It's incredible. For best costume design, my personal pick would probably either be Nosferatu or A Complete Unknown. Nosferatu has some great costumes that fit time period that it was set in, and I think A Complete Unknown's costumes are actually really great with the way that they recreated a lot of the iconic Bob Dylan looks from the 60s, but I think the Academy is going to go with Wicked so that it gets something this year. Throw the dog a bone. For production design, my personal pick would be Dune Part 2, but it's probably going to go to Wicked as well. Best editing is a really confusing category. Carson Ronquist did a fantastic video recently discussing how the best editing category is an absolute mess and doesn't really benefit anything, and is basically a forefront for guessing what will take Best Picture. And for Best Editing, I would personally be giving it to Anora, but I do think that Best Editing this year is going to go to Conclave. Honestly, the nominees in Best Cinematography are all really great. For me, it's very obvious that my pick and prediction is gonna be The Brutalist. It felt like I was watching something from many, many years ago in Hollywood, whilst also being something so brand new and redefined for this era. I think it works perfectly, and I'm going to be very happy when it wins. Animated feature is a difficult one. My personal pick is going to be Wallace and Gromit. It's the one I had the most fun watching this year. A close second would definitely be Memoir of a Snail. For prediction, I think it's probably going to go to The Wild Robot. There is a small chance that Flow sneaks in there, but I think The Wild Robot kind of has that head start. Documentary feature is stacked this year. I enjoyed all of these a lot. My pick and prediction has to be No Other Land, which is absolutely harrowing and left me speechless. For international feature, this is kind of crazy. This category felt locked for ages with Emilia Perez, but my pick and prediction is I'm Still Here, Brazil's Submission. I really hope that this snags it. I feel like I've been talking about this movie for the past month, and I probably won't stop for a while because I really love it. For adapted screenplay, my pick would be Nickel Boys. I feel like it's the screenplay here that works the best. I do think it's probably going to go to Conclave, which I'm not mad about. It's a pretty nifty screenplay. For original screenplay, this one's hard. Truth be told, for screenplay, I would love for The Substance to take it, or even The Brutalist, but I am predicting that it will go to Anora, which I'm completely fine with. Sean Baker's kind of been building up to this for the past 7 years, so this does feel kind of deserved. For Best Supporting Actor, my pick would either be Guy Pearce or Jeremy Strong. Probably leaning more to Guy Pearce, but I do think Jeremy Strong is the highlight of The Apprentice and makes it kind of what it is. However, my prediction, is there any point in even saying it, it's gonna go to Kieran Culkin. The same can be said for supporting actress, which is so obvious at the end of the day. My pick would be Ariana Grande, I think she's the highlight of Wicked as well, and to see her career blossom into where it is now feels so rewarding as a fan, and obviously it probably feels rewarding for her too. However, it's obviously going to go to Zoe Saldana. Best Actor is a very strange one. We have 3 actors here that do fantastic jobs and are definitely not going to win the Oscar this year. Then we have one that seemed to be sweeping for the entire season, up until the past weekend with the SAG Awards and Timothée Chalamet taking his first major award ever. My pick and my prediction for this year would be Timothée Chalamet. I think that he's going to take it, and I think it's going to be a huge upset, but I'm going to be over the moon for it. Best Actress is also in the same category, where 3 of these performances kind of don't really have a chance. It's more of a 2-person battle. My personal pick for this award would be Fernanda Torres, who I think gives maybe my favorite performance of the entire acting nominees. However, my prediction is that it is going to go to Demi Moore this year, which I'm not mad about because I do have money on her winning. Best Director feels like something that was said from the very start. It was going to Brady Corbet, but I feel like over the past few weeks that's completely changed. My personal pick this year would be Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, but I have a funny feeling that it's going to go to Sean Baker for Anora. And that leads us to the final category. 10 films battling out for Best Picture. Anora, Conclave, The Brutalist, Emilia Perez, Wicked, A Complete Unknown, The Substance, Dune, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys. And funnily enough, that's the order that I have them all in, from most likely to win to least likely. My personal pick would obviously be The Substance. I've raved about this movie for months, and I would love to see it take the major award. Is that going to happen? Probably not. I truthfully think that this is a 2-man race. The Brutalist doesn't even stand a chance anymore. It's Anora or Conclave, and I really hope it goes to Anora, because that would be a fantastic take for this year. It's a film that I feel like will live past the times and the ages and will be talked about for a fair bit afterwards, whereas Conclave kind of fits more into a spotlight place for me, where in 10 years time we're probably not going to be talking about it as highly as we would a lot of these other nominees, these ones to be exact. That's my predictions. I will not be posting anything until after the awards. I'll maybe post a quick video at the end of that week discussing how I felt about it, but after that I promise I will be back to a normal schedule of actually talking about specific films rather than going on and on about the Oscars, because I'm just as sick of it as you probably are. Let me know your Oscar predictions down below, and I'll see you in the next one.